Hi everyone, hope you're all staying safe and well. It's Bernard here at the Citizen channel, a Man City fan channel. Are we allowed to call ourselves a fan channel? I mean, obviously if the guys with 50,000 subscribers can't, I mean, I don't suppose I've got any chance really, but hey, I am a fan channel. I'm a fan and I do a channel, so there you go. So whoever says not can, well, they're just mindless morons who know nothing, do they? Let's be honest about it. Welcome to my Citizen channel anyway, whatever it is, it's a Citizen channel, and thanks for watching. I'm going to look back at an evening at the Emirates, 21st of February, 4:30 p.m. kickoff. Yes, Arsenal 0, Manchester, God's own team, no fan channel, small club, oil money, City 1. Yeah, I thought I'd add that just so it's clear with people, because they don't seem quite sure of what we are or what we're up to at the moment. So yeah, Arsenal 0, Manchester, God's own team, no fan channel, small club, oil money, City 1. So I think that's what it might be hard doing the tweets. I mean, we don't want to get so many letters, don't we? So we're a bit knackered on that one. But welcome anyway. We'll have the match analysis, match stats with the Manchester Evening News, Mr. Pogowski's and my player ratings. Yeah, some interesting ones. I don't think there's too much difference last night. Of course, we'll have the quirky stats and any conclusions. We've got record breakers. I don't know what we've got today. We may have, who knows? Well, it's a continuous record breaker, isn't it? www. Something like that. There you go. I'm not going to do that next time. So some people are going on runs, aren't they? But I'll just do that. It's far quicker and use up less energy. Right, there we go. Please, if you're new to this channel, push that subscribe button if you're not already done so. I'm trying to get to 800, which small fry, isn't it? By the end of March, I'm trying to get to the magical 1,000 by the end of the football season, by the end of May. So please, if you're not pushed that subscribe button, please tell your City supporting friends about this channel. I'll try and do lots of different things. Obviously, all these reviews, previews, history stuff, quizzes, you name it, we do it, magazine vlogs, so please have a look at those playlists. And also, if you have an interesting film or TV, I have a little film and TV channel as well, which I probably do as much time on that as I do on the football, to be honest with you. But yeah, that's there. So if you've any interest, if you're not, don't worry about it. There's loads of football. But if you know anyone who might be interested, please point them in my direction. Again, I do film reviews, TV drama reviews, information vlogs, quizzes on there as well. I've got a Sean Connery quiz. Please have a look. Have a look at the Sean Connery quiz, and a little prize up for grabs as well, which we might be doing on the Citizen channel soon for City prizes as well, so stay tuned. Right, so please follow me on, if you follow or friend me on Facebook and Twitter, I do try and check back. There's a couple of links on screen there. I do check every 3 or 4 days, so I follow and friend everyone back if you'd have to follow us and friends. And all comments welcome. I've got a regular contributors, some new ones now. It's fantastic. I love your comments. It's great to hear what you think and your memories and your views on stuff. So anything I talk about today, let us know what your views are. If you don't have time for a comment, just leave us a thumbs up. That's nice. It'd be great to get thumbs up. It's nice to get views. We're getting lots of views now, but it's nice to get thumbs ups as well. Right, City starting lineup. Yeah, 5 changes to the Everton game. You know me, once we get more than 5 changes, I do worry a bit, but when you've got almost full squad, it's not quite as devastating, is it, to the team having 5 changes as it perhaps is when you've got perhaps a slightly smaller squad, or unfit squad, should I say. We've only got 1 player injured at the moment, haven't we? You know, fingers crossed, touch wood and all that sort of thing. Yeah, Edison, Cancelo, Diaz, Stones, Zinchenko, Fernandinho as a captain, Gundogan, Bernardo, Mahrez, KDB and Sterling. Yeah, sub Stephen Walker, Jesus, Aguero, Laporte, Rodrigo, Torres, Mendy and Foden. Yeah, I got 7 right, so that wasn't too much of a disaster, was it? So yeah, the thoughts on that. I mean, Zinchenko was an interesting one, but I think he's becoming, as he was a couple of years ago, Pep's relying on him again. He did fall out with him, didn't he? Let's be honest about it. When there's no, I don't think I'm telling any mistruths there. I think he fell out with Zinchenko a little bit. He went off the boil, but I think he's sort of worked his way back into his good books, hasn't he, Zinchenko? He's one of those players you like, don't you? Because he's 100%, isn't he? He's, you know, I always expect him to make a mistake or two, but you know, he's just there. He's just doing some good stuff, and he's worked his way back into Pep's favour. Anyway, Fernandinho was nice to see him in there instead of Rodri. And what a game he had last night as well. KDB, of course, has come back. We'll talk about the effect of that later on. Obviously, you have to, if you got, I would have thought may have started a sub again, but hey, there you go. Pre-match social media talk, MCFC Toronto at MCFC Toronto. Simply wrote KDB plus Mr. Whippy plus Big Dino. Yeah, enough said. You don't need to comment anymore, do you? Main Road Ramble at Main Road Ramble. KDB is back, and it appears as if he'll operate as the most advanced central player. Whether you want to categorise as a false 9 or number 9 at all, either way, Gundogan being back to his critical, since there are a few better at making attacking runs from midfield. So, yeah, I wasn't too sure he played certainly didn't play number 9 as far as I could see, but hey, that was before the game. It's all right in hindsight, isn't it? MCFC Denver League Cup winners at MCFC Denver. He's back, and a lovely image there. It's on screen, yeah. Mr. Whippy, obviously quite funny that he's back, so we know who they're talking about. I prefer the Gundalorian, as you know, but there you go. Referee was Mr. Jonathan Moss. He brought his seat to sit on while he sort of watched what was going on around him. Is Lionel's Mark Perry and Dan Robotham. Fourth official Andy Madley, or Maidley, however you pronounce that. VAR Peter Bonks. Peter Bonks, I think he's got the copyright. I think he owns the VAR, Peter Bonks. Assistant Timothy Wood. Match summation and stats. Well, here we go. First 45 minutes. I didn't have a chance to have a look at Mr. Banerjee's goal description today, but what a fantastic goal it was. We'll talk about it in a minute. But after a minute, Sterling, how Sterling sort of mishit it. He took us, like us on a Sunday on the park, isn't it? We get all giddy and excited. He sort of mishit a shot on the edge of the 6-yard box. 2 minutes, it's 1-0. I mean, unfortunately, I didn't need Mr. Banerjee much today, did it? But what a fantastic goal. I mean, a superb cross from... I mean, Mahrez was on fire for that first 10 minutes. I'm not going to say about the rest of the game, but yeah, it was on fire for that first 10 minutes. And the superb... He rolls like a salmon, didn't he? He rolls like David Watson of old, if you remember David Watson. He rolls like him into the air, and fantastic header, glancing header from Sterling into the fantastic goal. Superb. I mean, he could have had an hat-trick in the first 6 minutes, couldn't he? But we can't have everything, can we? But what a fantastic cross from Mahrez, and that was sort of more or less game over, wasn't it? I was hoping for perhaps 1 or 2 more to settle the nerves, but hey, there you go, 1-0 after 2 minutes. 6 minutes, Sterling had a great opportunity, didn't he? Again, a great KDB ball. One of his better ones. He didn't do many of those last night, to be honest with you. Again, in all fairness to Mr. KDB. But I don't know what. I used to say, even in the old days, I used to say he fannied about with it. And he did fanny about with it, didn't he? Faffed about. And I don't know what he was doing. Eventually, he got a shot, but the goalkeeper was far too close. So, yeah, as I said, he could have easily had 3 goals in that first 6 minutes. It's okay on games last night, isn't it? It works out okay. We won 1-0. We kept, we got a good defence, but you'd imagine later stages of the Champions League, we need him to be putting those away. But what a fantastic goal he did score. But I mean, is that good enough? Probably is. It was last night, but going forward, 8 minutes, a poor attempt by KDB. Sort of did a Sterling that did early on. He sort of mishit it. And he sort of bobbled wide, didn't he? I have no idea what that was. And then it went sort of City were in control, but not much creativity. And it was 34 minutes. Great play by Fernandinho, who robbed the ball, didn't he? Sets up Gundogan, but unfortunately Gundogan hasn't got the touch perhaps of Mahrez or Bernardo. He sort of bounced off him a little bit too far, so it obviously allowed the shot to be blocked again. Similar perhaps to Sterling before, where he just divvied a little bit, but in this time Gundogan just didn't control it properly. 44 minutes, yeah, Arsenal had a bit of an attack. Yeah, they hit the side net. It never looked as though it was going in, but at least they sort of had a go, didn't they? At least they got into our half after 40. Not bad after 45 minutes hitting the side netting. Yeah, so half time, I thought Arsenal were totally demoralised. I thought for 15 or 20 minutes we should have gone for the juggler. We should have finished it off, but we didn't. And obviously they became more confident as the half went on. And certainly the last 15 minutes they looked more likely to score than we did. I did say at half time here, hopefully we won't try to hang on for 1-0. I'm sure we didn't, but that's how it ended up. We need to reassert ourselves and knock the fight out of the Arsenal. Yeah, but there wasn't that much fight there, was there really, in the second half there? So we talk about the second 45 minutes. 47 minutes, Zinchenko set up by Sterling, high and wide. I mean, yeah, you can't rely on Zinchenko to hit the target, can you? 48 minutes, Zinchenko then sets up KDB, does a lovely chip. I thought for 1 minute it was going in, but yeah, it's probably a good 2 or 3 yards wide, unfortunately. 56 minutes, Gundogan, no power, comfortable save by Leno. Yeah, that's when he tried to place it into the corner, and it was nice easy save for a keeper. I would have loved them all day as a keeper. So such a simple save to make. Yeah, a little bit poor from Gundone. Put a little bit more behind it, mate. 57 minutes, KDB blasts high and wide. Yeah, well, it's like his passing was off all night, and that wasn't great. 63 minutes, Jesus off. Jesus on, KDB off. I wrote it down wrong here. Yeah, so Jesus, fantastic. He had a great. I thought it was fantastic for half an hour. Jesus, to be honest with you, he'd sort of caused more trouble for Arsenal than we had for the previous 60 minutes before that, after we took the lead, I think. 72 minutes, I don't know what that was. I mean, there was an awful Cancelo slice that ended up back to Ederson. Obviously, Ederson couldn't pick it up, but having said that, it wasn't a back pass, was it? He just sliced it. He wasn't aiming to back pass, so surely he could have caught it, but then again, Jonathan Moss was a referee, so perhaps Ederson knew what he was doing, but he was just as sliced it as well. He just seemed to think, oh well, I'll just slice it, see what happens. He looked so lethargic. I mean, I know, all right, I'm sure he could have got a little bit of a better kick on that one, but anyway, he just looked as though he couldn't be bothered, to be honest with you. And obviously, fortunately, it fell for Arsenal, but he put it wide. But I have no idea. I'm sure Pep was pulling his hair out if he had any on that one, but I have no idea what was going on there. 80 minutes, excellent from Jesus, from just with outside of the right, through to Cancelo, and how Cancelo tried to put it in with the right out. So just put your foot through it. Just hit the target. I said before, if you're not going to hit the target, make the goalie doesn't have to do anything. I mean, it would have looked fantastic. If it had gone in, it would have looked fantastic, but it's far too near the goal to try that little thing. If it'd been another 3 or 4 yards, perhaps further out, it might have been okay, but no, I'm afraid Cancelo, I'm going to class him, you'll see in my ratings, he's going to be the nearly man again. Perhaps it'll sting him into scoring a couple of goals again, because he's getting to that stage again with me, and we did have that stage, didn't we? 84 minutes, Stones barges Aubameyang, didn't he? That was fantastic, that. I'm not too sure it was the cleanest shoulder charge I've ever seen, but Aubameyang just looked totally fed up. I think Stones tormented him all game, and I just don't think Aubameyang could be bothered, to be honest with you. I think he just wore him out. 90 minutes, a great run by Jesus. Unfortunately, he didn't finish it off, did he? It was well over. But yeah, he did a lot of things right, Jesus, but it would have been nice to get a goal. 4 minutes injury time, but then it was sort of 4 minutes of Arsenal fouling City, wasn't it, really? That's about it. It wasn't anything more than that. I mean, we were just getting free kicks all over the place as Arsenal got a bit panicky and desperate, and they were lumping it forward, and David Luiz was running around like a scolded cat trying to do something, but that was, there you go. So full time, a bit nervy at times. I was wrong once at half time, as I said. There was no real fight to Arsenal, I don't think. They lacked ideas. Certainly in the final third, they were very, very poor. And even though we should have had this dead and buried in 5 or 10 minutes, to be honest with you, we were sort of comfortable. We could do without that, couldn't we? Yeah, ref watch. What am I going to give him? Well, it wasn't that bad, actually. I mean, as I say, it's trouble with Jonathan Moss. He's just so inconsistent. He'll give a silly foul, and then he'll just ignore stuff. I just don't know. I mean, my average is 6 out of 10. I'll give him 5 out of 10 because he's bloody useless, isn't he? Let's be honest about it. So I'll give Mr. Moss, the Moss Blob, 5 out of 10. 6 out of 10, 5 out of 10. Match stats: shots 7 by Arsenal, 15 by City. 1 on target for Arsenal, 3 by City. Possession 44% to 56% in City's favour. Passes 478 to 601. Not the most biggest we've ever had. Completion 84% Arsenal, 88% City. Again, not fantastic. Not one of our highest. Fouls 11 by Arsenal, 9 by City. Corners 1 by Arsenal, 3 by City. Yeah, it was that sort of game, wasn't it? As I say, I'm sure we weren't happy with 1-0, but we were sort of, once it went 1-0, that was sort of more or less it, wasn't it? So, onto the player ratings. Yeah, I'll give you Simon Bukowski's first. My starting score is going to be 6.5 again. If City had been wonderful, I would have probably started at 7, but it wasn't a vintage City. We did what we had to do, didn't we? Just 2 or 3 players were outstanding, don't get me wrong, but yeah, Simon Bukowski, I have no idea what his base of scores is. He's always very, very kind anyway, but perhaps not as kind today as he has been. Right, on to Ederson. Simon Bukowski's first, and then I'll add my little bit. Did everything that could be asked of him on a day where not much came his way because of the sterling efforts of the players in front of him. So he's given him a 7. Yeah, I'll give him Ederson 6.5, which is the standard, and I don't know what that slice was about, but I'll forgive him that overall. I'll give him the good standard 6.5. Cancelo struggled with Tierney pushing up high behind. He was awful. I thought Tierney was awful. Did he rush him back too quick? I've heard so many good things about him. I thought he was dreadful. Pushing up behind him and was booked for tangling with the fullback. Couldn't get in the game as much as he usually does. Yeah, so he's given him a 6. I thought it was pretty awful, to be honest with you. Scoring that goal would have helped, but I do little crosses and ticks on a sheet of paper as I'm watching the game. I watch a game on TV, and he had 3 or 4 crosses and had no ticks at all. So I'm only going to give him 5.5. I thought it was pretty awful, Cancelo, to be honest with you. Say if he'd scored that goal, it would have rescued him, but he didn't. So yeah, he's the nearly man again. So hopefully that'll sting him into action. He probably listens to this and he's going to go out and do really well next time. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it works. Stones, City's best defender, calm on or off the ball. Everything Arsenal threw his way was returned with interest. His efforts were vocally appreciated by his teammates throughout the game. He's given him a 9, absolutely fantastic. I nearly give him a 9 myself. You know me, I'm not mean anyway, but I've given him an 8.5, which is one of my highest today. He was just immense, and as I said, Aubameyang was just looked so pathetic. Just as though he'd give up against him, to be honest. The Stones was immense last night. Fantastic. What a player. I love him. I think most City fans do love him, even when he was down. I think a lot of fans had time for him. Diaz's crossfield ball for Mahrez to set the opening goal. It was straight out of Aymeric Laporte's textbook. He was rock solid whenever City needed him. Yeah, I don't think he was quite as good as... I know some people have him as their man in a match. I thought Stones was better. So I give him an 8. And Simon's given him an 8. So and I've wrote great as Stones' backup guy. So there you go. Zinchenko made important clearances at the back and also showed an excellent understanding of when to stay back or push forward. His intelligence helped City keep their calm. Yeah, played pretty well. He's given him a 7. I'll echo that. I'll give him a 7. Zinchenko. Steady. Fernandinho, a luxury for Guardiola. He can rest Rodri and have a player of the calibre come in. He dispossessed Arsenal players all over the pitch. Yeah, I tell you what, you wouldn't see Rodri doing what Fernandinho did last night, and that's why you can't just replace him because he's irreplaceable. He was absolutely fantastic, I say, for a guy of his age, and he's but he's still got the quality, and even against quite a young Arsenal team. Don't forget. Arsenal players all over the pitch. He dispossessed Arsenal players all over the pitch to keep his side pushing forward. Yeah, so he's given him an 8. I'm going to echo that again. I'm give him an 8. My second highest score. He was absolutely brilliant. As I said, Fernandinho in his prime compared to Rodri, who's approaching his prime. I think I know what I'd like, but hey, it's. Never mind, it's gone now, isn't it? We're seeing the last knockings of Mr. Fernandinho. What a shame. Gundogan, some unusually poor decision in front of goal, made this game less comfortable than it should have been for City. Promising that he wasn't kept out for long with injury, though. Yeah, well, that was promising. Yeah, of course it is. So give him a 6. Yeah, I've only given him a 6. I thought it was well down. I think the fact that KDB was on the pitch just made him not as much in it. I just thought it affected him in the same way it affected Bernardo as well. We'll talk about that later, perhaps in the conclusion. Bernardo continued his excellent form, finding space, carrying the ball to keep City in possession and get them out of some tricky situations. Yeah, just give Bernardo a 7. I just thought, again, a 6.5. I'm not going to go mad over Bernardo. Again, another one who seems to not be as impressive because KDB was knocking him out. Mahrez picked up where he left off at Goodison, what he did for 10 minutes, making decisive contributions in goals. Not much went for him up front, but he worked hard to help Cancelo out. Yeah, so give him a 7. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll give him a 7. He did run riot for that first 10 minutes. He looked fantastic, but he did lose a bit of his potency. But obviously, there was still plenty for Arsenal to worry about. And as Simon said there, helping the defence out, which is always a plus point. I'm sure it pleased Pep. Sterling probably should have scored more, but his goal was the difference, and his knack for finding those positions in the box and running at defenders keeps serving him and the team well. So give him a 7. Yeah, I'll give him a 7. He would have had 8 or 9 if he'd scored another goal or two. Great goal, but pretty wasteful. But yeah, he was energetic. He did cause lots of problems, so I will give him a 7. But fantastic goal, but he could have done a little bit better. KDB encouraging to have him back starting, and Sterling should probably have given him an assist, although his radar wasn't always as accurate as it can be. That's a bit of an understatement. He's given him a 7. I've given KDB a 6. I thought he was below average. I thought he started really well, but then not much came off after that. I mean, you've got to allow for the fact he's been out, but Yeah, and I just thought the team as a whole, because of his presence, didn't quite perform as perhaps we could have done. But yeah, so I'll give him a 6. I just don't think he had a good game last night. He started off, as I said, pretty well, but after that. But he'll get back in. He'll get back in. He'll get back up to speed. Jesus for De Bruyne on 63. His introduction made a positive impression and City looked more dangerous with him on the pitch. Yeah, he's given a 7. I don't usually score more than the average for the subs, but I think his contribution for 30 minutes was excellent. So I'm going to give him a 7 as well, Jesus. So that's a 7. City's a man of the match. Well, obviously based on those scores and based on my mind, say it's not always the highest scorer gets it, but in this case, Mr. John Stones, absolutely immense. I said, some people have said Diaz, some people have said, who else have they said? I'm trying to think who else. No, just Diaz. Can't think of anyone else. But I thought Stones was superb. So I'm going to give it Stones anyway as my citizen man of the match. Let me know what you think anyway of those player ratings. Leave your player ratings as well. Let me know what you think and whether you agree with John Stones or perhaps someone else or perhaps someone I've missed. I can't think who I might have missed that might have deserved it as well. Right, quirky stats. Yeah, Mr. Simon Bukowski's come up with a couple. I did comment that is this the new Stat Simon or Opta Simon, but yeah, he did like that comment, but so that's nice of him. Yeah, a new Opta Simon and Stat Simon. This is from him. John Stones makes his 100th Premier League appearance for City in his 5th season at the club. He started just 1 of the first 8 in this campaign, but today is the 14th start of the last 17 games. Yep, and another one from Mr. Bukowski, Stat Simon. In January, MTFC became the 9th team to top the Premier League table. In the last 2 weeks, they have consecutively played 4 previous leaders and beaten everyone with a combined score of 11-2. Fantastic. Thanks, Simon. Making a difficult year look easy. We certainly are, but it's obviously God's team, aren't we? So there you go. Up to Joe. Arsenal have lost their last 8 league games against City, equaling also losing 8 against Leeds back between 1973-76. So let's go one better next time, eh? Raheem Sterling is the 3rd player to score in 3 consecutive away games against Arsenal in the Premier League after Nicholas Anelka, 4 games ending in May 2009, and Ian Hart, 3 games ending in May 2003. Manchester City have equalled the record breakers for consecutive away wins by an English top-flight team across all competitions, 11, which was previously set by Pep Guardiola's side between May and November 2017. So we've got to break our own record. How can you beat your own record? Shocking. Stat City, Man City have now scored 50 goals in the Premier League so far this season in what is their 25th game in the competition. No other team has netted more often during that time. Yeah, and we're not really scoring as many as we should do, are we, either? City have scored inside the opening 3 minutes of the game in each of their last 3 appearances at the Emirates Stadium. Long may it continue. Raheem Sterling's opener was a 6-6-6 goal. Oh, that's not good. Scored by Man City under Pep Guardiola in all competitions. Oh, we're stuck on 6-6-6 now. We might never score again now. Man City are unbeaten in 27 matches in which Ilkay Gundogan has made an appearance this season in all competitions. 124, drawn 3. Well, let's have him playing for the rest of the season. Arsenal have lost their last 4 Premier League games against City without scoring a goal. Shame. Well, they weren't going to score last night. They could have played all night. They weren't going to score, were they? This is the first time in their history they have failed to score in 4 consecutive home league games against an opponent. Record. Oh no, leave that one. Headlines. Here we go. Yeah, the City side MCFC. City equal club record with a battling win at Arsenal. Onto the papers, a couple of the papers. We've got the Daily Star. Stir it up, grind it out. Arsenal 0, Man City 1. We've still got a shout, United. Oh, we dream on, don't they? They're whinging about COVID now. They don't, just a couple of coaching staff have got it. A league of their own. Raheem and co. head and shoulders above the rest. There we go. So great image of the goal with there's another, I think another one in the next one. This is the Daily Star. Great image. I'm not doing that as a spot the ball. Well, I might do, but not using that image. Pep's countdown to glory. Super City make this is the Mirror. Super City make it 18 in a row as clear path to the Premiership title opens up. It certainly does. A bit there. We don't get the main headline in these papers if there's other games on. We never do. It's just how it is. No vendetta against us though. City's leap of faith. When 5'7" Sterling soars to head home the winner, you don't play well but still ease to 18 victories in a row, then you must believe the title will be yours soon. That's John Cross. He writes some crap, doesn't he? But there you go. Great image. That is a good image and it was a good goal. I mean, it was a cracking goal. And finally onto our own. And we do get main billing on our own, which is nice. Coming of age, Blues show why they are champions elect with an 18th straight win. There you go. Inside, which we should be, when Blue better believe it. These are the Blue better believe. That's a good headline. These are the champions. All right. Well, we're not yet. You know, don't push it. I mean, you know, it could all turn to poo. But I mean, obviously, it's. You know me, I'm always glass half full, but we shouldn't ever preempt. I mean, we should never decide on something. And inside the pages, Guardiola surprised by City's winning run. Pep's keen to get Aguero back in the side, aren't we all? Stones and Diaz are the real stars. Well, of course they are. We know that, don't we? There's the Manchester Evening News. Fantastic. On the front, happy 18th. Blues rack up another win. Of course we do. Fantastic. Right, conclusions, my little thoughts. Bernard's thoughts on that last night. Closing thoughts. Yeah, big build-up. When you watch these build-ups, I don't usually watch a lot of the build-ups of the game, but you start thinking the other team are quite good. Obviously, with people like Tierney that were raving over, and I think I'll give him a benefit of the doubt he's coming back from injury, but... yeah, I mean, the thing is, City should have been out of sight within 10 minutes, shouldn't it? We weren't, but fortunately for us, Arsenal never really looked like getting a goal, did they? They never really had much in that last third. But really, as I say, in bigger games to come, we do need to take some of those chances. And people like KDB, Gundogan last night, Sterling, even though he scored, I mean... These are getting chances to score. Not easy chances, but they should be at least hitting the target. KDB is often missing the target. We can't really complain about Gundogan. He's been playing really well. But yeah, it's going to be more important as we progress in certain competitions. It's all right, the league, we've got built a bit of a cushion now, so we can perhaps afford it a little bit. But will it come back to bite us? All right, we might win a European Cup semi-final by a goal to nil or something like that with our defence, or even the final by to nil. But we've got to do better with these chances. But a fantastic goal overall. But yeah, Arsenal, he didn't seem to have the real quads to create much, even all the hype that I saw before the game started. I mean, I think commentators are still desperate for the team to play well against City. It got to the last 10 minutes and it was just a matter of trying to launch it into the box. They do look a mid-table side, and that's where they sit at the moment. They do look mid-table. I think City were in third gear, and say 88% pass completion isn't fantastic. We shouldn't have really been nervous. I was a bit nervy. I'm sure the players weren't overly nervous, but at 1-0 it's nothing, is it? Anything can happen. Perhaps that Thursday game took a bit out of them. They did make 5 changes last night, but I think there were 5 positive changes as well. I thought Arteta tried at least, but as I say, for most of the game they were a little bit clueless. I think they had about 20 minutes in that first half where I was a little bit apprehensive, but the second half they never really got going. And obviously he could presumably make some changes to liven it up, and it never did it? It didn't really, even the changes didn't sort of affect the way they played. It's hard to see him getting the top 6 based on what we saw last night, to be honest with you. And obviously Arteta is splitting opinion with the Arsenal fans, but they've got to give him time, haven't they? Let's be honest about it. But I'll be very, very surprised if the top 6, so they would have to get back into Europe. They're going to have to win that Europa Cup, aren't they? Which is possible, you never know, but there's always 1 or 2 really good European teams in that, isn't there? You seem to sort of see off the English teams at some stage, but there you go. Yeah, so Arsenal, I was a bit disappointed, but obviously, as I said, they were in it. They were in it all the game, weren't they? Only because we didn't finish them off. But as I say, they never really look as though they were going to do it. As far as City, yeah, the thing that worries me about City is we've sadly seemed to go back to everything relying on KDB again, which meant Gundogan, Cancelo and Bernardo became little bit part players, became a bit of a shadow of what they have been recently. And I think Pep has to change things slightly, that whether it's resting KDB more or not putting him in starting lineup. I mean, obviously he wouldn't be happy with that, would he? And I know he's discussing a contract at the moment, but yeah, I think he sort of takes away the emphasis from our other midfielders, and that's even though we were winning with him, we've been winning without him. We need to find a way to perhaps utilise KDB a little bit more. And KDB needs to start hitting the target with some of these things as well. We love his little balls. We love the little quirky balls through. He did 1 or 2 last night that should have resulted in goals, and they didn't. But it may be worth just reining in a bit with KDB and trying to, I don't know, just trying to swap how he plays. I know it sounds stupid, just reining these tactics a little bit around KDB, because these other guys don't seem to turn up as much when KDB's there, which is not a bad thing if KDB's on fire. But if he's not on fire, you do want your Gundogan to step up, you do want your Bernardo, you do want your Cancelo to come through and step up. So it's not a bad problem to have, is it? And obviously, while we've not got injuries, it will be a problem, and it's always going to be a problem, isn't it? You know, as I said, we've only got one physical injury at the moment with Aki, so yeah, it's always going to be hard to sort of mix and match, isn't it? But we've got enough games, so I'm sure KDB's not going to be played game in, game out now between now and the end of the season. So it'll be interesting to see how Pep does it. As I say, I just sometimes think it's just too much through KDB, and it's nice that Gundogan, Bernardo, and Cancelo, as an example, and perhaps other players as well, have sort of come to the fore when he's not been there. So I don't want us to lose that over the coming games. So there you go. Yeah, so we're happy with that, aren't we? We're top, still 10 points clear, even though obviously Leicester and United won yesterday. But it gets to the stage where we can probably afford to lose, 4 games, do you think? 4 or 5 games out of 13? It's getting pretty good, and even I'm getting optimistic, and I'm Mr. Glass half full. Anyway, let me know what you think anyway on those thoughts. And the KDB thing as well, I think it's a bit of a quandary actually, that, because I do love KDB to bits, but I love Bernardo, Gundogan, and I'm not going to say I love Cancelo yet, but he's just annoying me. He annoyed me last night, but there you go. I don't think he was very good last night. Well, thanks for joining me. I'll be back with a preview of the Monchengladbach game, of course. That'll either be on the Monday evening as I'm doing this, or sometime on Tuesday. Depends on what much time I get during Monday to put that together. And please check out my little recent Citizen Past vlog on Monchengladbach, the game we had back in 1979, the 2 games we had in 1979 in the quarterfinals UEFA Cup. We've done a little special on that, so please, if you check the playlist, look out for that. Thanks for joining for this big match analysis of the game at the Emirates. Arsenal 0, Manchester God's Own Team, No Fan Channel, Small Club, Oil Money, City 1. Whatever you do with this day, have a great one. Look at yourselves, look at your friends, look at your family. More importantly, let's laugh to each other. Until we meet again here on the Citizen channel, or perhaps you flit across to my film and TV channel, do that Sean Connery quiz, wherever it is. All I ever ask is please stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.